Interailing Diaries.
We began at London full of excitement and a handful of luggage. Since the direct train to Paris was a bit too expensive, we decided on a cheaper route, Eurostar to Brussels then onwards to Paris. It sounds simple enough at first, but the Brussels to Paris leg, however, was another story. The train was absolutely packed, and with all of our suitcases, fitting in felt like playing a game of extreme sport. In the chaos, we had to split up, and for a moment it looked like half of the group might be left behind in Brussels. Thankfully, everyone managed to scramble on board in time. Even though we had booked seats, we somehow ended up standing for the 2-hour journey. At least I could count it as a bit of exercise, as the gym has not seen my face in a minute. It was twice as hard weaving around our bags, balancing through the rocky ride. And trust me, falling on strangers is not the most fun with a bunch of suitcases. With barely any Wi-Fi to rely on, we had to find ways to entertain ourselves. Lots of chatting, laughing, making random dance videos, just soaking in the strangeness of it all. It wasn't the smoothest start, but in a way, it feels like the kind of chaos that makes traveling just a bit more memorable. We finally made it to Paris. Even while wrestling with my bags, I couldn't help but admire the city, its architecture, its people, its vibe. We wandered the neighborhood in search of food. From the charming bookstores to the quiet streets, everything felt unexpectedly calm. We ended up at Loop's Kebab, simple, delicious, and served with such kindness, despite the language barrier. Later, we stumbled upon this canal, buzzing with life. People were gathered along the water, and out of nowhere, a guy just jumps in, a hilarious, unforgettable moment. We sat by the canal for hours, talking about everything and nothing, catching up and simply enjoying being together. It was the perfect ending to our first night in Paris.
One room, 8 people.
My space is nice.
Today was the big one, the Eiffel Tower. You'd think seeing such an iconic landmark would sweep me off my feet, but honestly, maybe watching Monte Carlo the night before wasn't the best idea. I kept expecting some cinematic rush of emotion, and instead I just stood there thinking, oh, so that's it? Like, that's really it? Not disappointed exactly, but not fireworks either. Still, we made the most of it. We circled the tower from every possible angle, snapping a ridiculous number of photos, while trying to dodge both the pickpockets and the scam artists. Honestly, it felt like a full-time job, protecting our phones while still managing to strike cute poses. In a funny way though, I did start to feel that Monte Carlo feeling, the experience Meg had, just without the Aussie boy sweeping me into complete fantasy. The best part though was when a lady with a retro camera appeared out of nowhere and offered to take our picture. Of course, being us, we said yes. When do we ever turn down a picture? Of course, being in Paris only meant one thing, croissants. The girlies and I wandered into the sweetest little cafe nearby called Bailing. It was tiny but magical, all soft green pastels that made it feel like stepping into a postcard. Nari and I went for the classic croissant while the others branched out, and let me tell you, it was perfection. Buttery, flaky, just the right amount of balance that melts together in your mouth. Honestly, Paris really knows what it's doing with its pastry. Naturally though, being the big bad girlies that we are, one croissant wasn't going to carry us through the whole day, so off we went to Carrefour for a little cheeky snack, because you can never go wrong with too many snacks. Our next stop was the Arc de Triomphe. Some of the girlies risked their lives for the roundabout for a better view, but Nari, Zaza and I said no thank you. We claimed a bench, admired the view and cracked up the most random out-of-pocket conversations. Honestly, it was pure chaos and definitely one for the books. A long day of endless walking, uphill, downhill, and everything in between, our tummies were begging to be fed, and we wandered into this small Indian restaurant run by the kindest old man. He was the only one working, so the food would take some time, so we decided to play a serious game of Uno till God knows when, which got very intense. Although the old man could not speak an ink of English, we found a different way to connect, and that's a moment I hold very dearly. After we secured our food, we headed down to our now proclaimed spot on the canal. Alright, so we just secured our goods and we're just walking along. We're gonna go eat. Where mademoiselle? Where mademoiselle? Wait.
we're all eating a river. Guys, they're breaking and entering. I can't really jump that. Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm getting the crack on it. I'm getting the crack on it. You getting the crack on it.
Back in the city again today after last night's chaos, and our mission was simple: find some truly tasty cinnamon rolls. The walk to the little shop turned into an adventure of its own, probably my first real taste of the streets of Paris. Every time I wander them, I feel I fall even more in love with this place. After about 10 minutes, we stumbled upon Rosie Cafe. I went for the hazelnut cinnamon bun, and honestly, it was perfection. Soft, rich, and you could tell it was made with love. I'm still dreaming about it even till today. I also tried the pistachio one, which was good too, but just a bit too sweet for me. Still, that hazelnut bun, life-changing. We wandered into this random vintage store with lots of cute pieces, but considering I still had a month of travelling left, it wouldn't be smart of me to splurge it all in Paris. Now would it? We continued exploring the streets leading us to our next destination. The next stop is the Louvre. Now, of course, I have to be honest with you, seeing the Louvre was a bit life-changing for me. Now, if you've watched Miraculous Ladybug, then you know exactly what I'm on about. Sure, there was no Cat Noir to swing in and save today on a hot afternoon like this, but it was definitely a moment to remember. Mary and I separated from the group to meet up with a friend from uni who lives in Paris. She gave us her own private tour of Paris, a bit pricey I know, the ins and outs, places to go and not to go, the Parisian slang, just a whole lot of it. We ended up settling in this cozy cafe that felt like I dropped right into a K-drama. The ambience was everything. I'm not really much of a coffee drinker, but I am in Paris, and I have a true Parisian sitting right beside me. So technically, I didn't really have much of a choice but to drink coffee now, did I? As you can tell, I'm clearly new to this, as both girls still had a bit of coffee left, while I chugged mine down in seconds like there was no tomorrow.
So guys, we're currently Guys, we're currently walking to go get ourselves some bicycles. I literally cannot ride a bike, but it's okay.
So it's a bit of a touchy topic. Basically, the group was forcing Nari and I to ride a bike to the Eiffel Tower, which, mind you, was an hour away. And normally, people would learn how to ride a bike in the comfort of their own home. But of course, for us, that was not the case. We were being forced out of our own will to ride a bike in Paris, one of the most chaotic cities.
Guys, they're flipping the left. We need to turn this way. Wait, let the car go. That's even the that's not the police. Guys, we literally left it. We're literally crashing out. Like, there's cars at the road. I wish it went lower and I just crashed my bum. But it's so painful. Oh my.
Guys, I may be laughing now, but in that moment, I was not laughing. Like, we were basically stranded in Paris with no phone, no direction. The group had left us. And on top of all of this, this one man came outside of his restaurant, came and to start laughing in our faces. He was pointing at us and I was kikiing and kakaing. Mind you, Nari and I were literally about to have like a mental breakdown because like we did not know what was happening, where we're going, and he was just there laughing. There were so many people crowded. They looked so confused. They were like, oh, if you can't ride a bike, why are you on a bike? And I was like, that's the same question I could ask myself, but I can't answer that. But guys, we came out on top, and I have to say I'm really proud of Nari and I because we struggled and we still made it. So guys, don't give up on your dreams, period. Ooh.
2 hours later.
I don't know if you can tell, but you know, Nari and I are riding bikes, you know, 2 wheels, no training wheels. Imaginary? No, it's real. We're riding actual bikes in the streets of Paris. We're not screaming, we're not hyperventilating, we're just riding bikes. We parked our bikes after successfully arriving at the Eiffel Tower, despite the many hiccups that we had, and headed to meet the group which had already been there an hour prior to us for a late dinner. We grabbed some pizza at the only shop that was still left open. We had to get takeout as the shop was closing as well, so we opted to sit at the bus stop to eat our dinner, which was a bright but not so bright idea considering the amount of awkward glances we encountered.
The amount of British accents. We're here. Hello, honey. I'm here. My phone.
Okay, so basically this is when everything went downhill again. But this time it was the whole group and not just Nari and I. The metro system had stopped working for the day, we had no other means of transportation to get back home, and the only bikes that were left were either mechanical, broken, or not charged. And there was no way in heaven we were doing that all over again. Half of the group was able to find bikes to get back home, but Nari and I were stranded again. As you can tell, this is a reoccurring event, but you know, that's a topic for another day. Nari and I, being the bougie girls that we are, ordered an Uber because we didn't want to wait in the dark by ourselves, as everyone had left, aside from the two random guys that were also stranded as well. So we ran up after them, of course keeping a distance, so we could use them as our pretend bodyguards, which didn't really work as planned, as they low-key got scared as well and gave us shady looks, but I'd like to think we were all scared together.
Pardon.
Pardon, ça veut dire sorry.
Oui.
Oui, ça veut dire yes. Compliqué, hein?
Oui. Okay.
After a night as chaotic as last night, getting home at 4 a.m, nonetheless, it's no surprise we completely missed our checkout time and overslept. When we did finally wake up, it was mad dash to pack our things, grab our suitcases and head out the door. Before making our way to the train station, we stopped for brunch knowing we'd need something to hold us over the 5-hour train journey ahead. Honestly, it felt like the perfect slow reset after such. To no surprise, again, we ended up missing our train just by the minute and had a 4-hour wait to the next one. Can you imagine? We had to completely rebook our tickets, but thankfully it was free. That same morning, I had come down with a sore throat, so I went to go get some Strepsils to relieve the pain. After hours of endless waiting in the heat, our train finally came. And just like that, another chapter of this trip comes to a close. Exhausting, chaotic, but so full of magic, I wouldn't trade a second of it. Somehow the mess, the laughs, the food, the street, it all just makes me fall even harder for Paris.